Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside 50. I'm Troy Luff.
And I'm Stephen Lord.
Now it's been a mixed week for the Cats, Steve-O. They had a great win against St Kilda, but young Brent Prismal, he did his ACL, now requires surgery.
Yeah, very, very tough for the young man, particularly since he'd been able to string 8 very solid games together. And I think he was shaping up as a real chance to make the Geelong Grand Final team, if they get that far. But have a look at the depth at Geelong. I think there's 4 or 5 players already shaping up for his spot.
Yes, Steve-O, I know we say it week in, week out, but they are going to be very hard to beat the Cats. Can't see anyone doing it. And they did it so easy. 58-point winners against St Kilda. The usual suspects were the best players. Jimmy Bartell, he had 34 possessions. And Gary Ablett Jr. continues great form with 35.
Yeah, what a stellar season he's had. Capped off by winning the most valuable player at the Players Association, voted on by his peers. Fantastic award to win. But interestingly, no MVP winner has ever won the Brownlow in the same year.
Could this be the year, Steve-O? He joined some very elite company of players who have won the MVP twice. Greg Williams, Wayne Carey and Michael Voss. He did it with 1,088 votes, 370 ahead of Lance Franklin, with Brent Harvey trailing in third.
And another big award handed out this week was the 2008 Rising Star Award. Reece Palmer from Fremantle, a very, very impressive winner, averaging over 23 disposals in his first season. Incredible.
That's pretty good, Steve-O, considering Fremantle hardly won a game this year.
Collingwood have made it into the semis after a very impressive win against Adelaide in their elimination final on Saturday. Vice-captain Anthony Rocker needs the Pies to beat the Saints this week if he has any possibility of playing again this year. What do you reckon his chances are, Luffy?
To be honest, Steve-O, I don't think Collingwood would play Anthony Rocker. He hasn't played football for months and months. And at this time of the year with such important games, I don't see him playing. Massive game this week, Collingwood St Kilda. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Riewoldt is the key for me. He was averaging 4 goals a game until last week, and he had an absolute shocker. But if he plays well, I think the Saints are a fair chance.
Yes, he was well touched up by Harry Taylor on the weekend. Collingwood's form has been fantastic since the Alan Didak and Reece Shaw incident. They've beaten St Kilda the last 3 times. But look, I really see the Saints bouncing back. They are too good a side to blow their chances.
Yeah, no, I think the Pies are going to get home for me.
The Swans continue their fantastic form on Saturday night, beating North Melbourne out at Sydney's Olympic Stadium. The crowd, though, just over 19,000 people, the lowest crowd in a final since 1924. Could this have damaged the AFL's push for a second team out at Western Sydney?
I think it actually builds a case for another team in Sydney. Let's get the rivalry happening like it is in South Australia and WA and create a real AFL atmosphere in the city.
Yes, I don't think the AFL will be too concerned about the crowd numbers. The weather was terrible. Sydney had over 100 millimetres of rain. And funnily enough, Steve-O, there were 3 games of NRL in Sydney that weekend, and their total attendance was only 18,000 people.
Yeah, the AFL hasn't got too much to worry about yet.
Hawthorn moves a step closer to their premiership dream with a 51-point thrashing of the Western Bulldogs on Friday night. But the Bulldogs, they get a second chance. They're up against the Swans this week, and I'm sure they are going to come out fighting, Steve-O.
Yeah, that's right, Luffy. Despite their recent performance, Sydney coach Paul Roos is not underestimating the Dogs' ability to be able to bounce back. Well, what's your tip for the big game this week? The Doggies versus the Swannies, Luffy?
Well, Rodney Eater's come out and said that his team just wasn't hard enough against Hawthorn. They were controlled by the Hawks.
Yeah, that's true, and I think they'll be bitterly disappointed if they go out in straight sets after their best start to a season ever after 15 rounds.
Well, funny you should say that, Steve-O, because since then they've only won 2 games out of their past 8. I really think the Swans go in with the form. Swans for me.
Yeah, Swans for me as well. Too strong.
In other AFL news, we saw 16 teams from 6 continents compete for the International Cup. And it was Papua New Guinea who finally, after 3 attempts, won that elusive grand final, Steve-O.
Yeah, look, I hate to admit it, but you were right, Luffy. You picked it. They beat New Zealand by 8 points, playing in a game before Hawthorn and the Bulldogs. But the big movers this year were South Africa after they finished 3rd by beating Ireland by a point in their final.
Yes, and it was a controversial win too, Steve-O. They were awarded a 25-metre penalty after the siren. The young guy kicked the goal and they won the game. But what about this, Steve-O? There are now 14,000 registered AFL players in South Africa.
Yeah, it can't be long till one of those is drafted by an AFL club. Well, that's it for this week. Join us next week for all the news and tips.